Hello and welcome back to my weekly vlog. I am maintaining a weight loss for Slimming World, sharing on a weekly basis how I'm doing this and how it's working, or not working as the case may be. I'll cut straight to the chase this morning and tell you my results for the week. Now, I said last week that I would take 2 A's, 2 B's and 11 syns daily. I did that and I'll talk to you more about that in a moment. And the result, I lost half a pound. Now, that's fine. I have to say, first and foremost, I am more comfortable in my body today than I have ever been in my whole entire life. So I'm not complaining about the weight loss, even though I wasn't striving for a weight loss again. I am comfortable. I was surprised with the weight loss because last Saturday night I had made a rational decision to eat some peanut butter M&Ms. Now, I don't mean the peanut M&Ms we have in this country. I mean the peanut butter ones that come from America. A lovely friend had bought them me for Easter and I'd kept them a couple of weeks in the cupboard for a time when it was okay to eat them, when I was comfortable eating them. And last Saturday night, knowing I wanted to gain weight this week, I made the decision to eat them. We worked out the syn value and it was 76 syns, but thinking, I want to gain at least a pound, and I'm going up on my syns from 8 to 11, that felt okay. So I ate them, I enjoyed them, got up the next morning, didn't feel guilty. It didn't set me off on because it was a controlled choice, it didn't set me off on chocolate binge or anything like that. I had plenty more chocolate in the house, but I didn't touch any of that. Again, these are new behaviours to me and quite mind-blowing at times. But it's part of the maintenance journey, isn't it? So I lost half a pound this week, which meant I had to pay for group. You have to pay anyway when you're out of Target. Even if I had got back into Target today, I would have had to pay. Something that I was thinking about when I was actually sitting in group was setting target. I made a decision where to set my target. You have the freedom to do that at Slimming World. They don't dictate to you, which is really nice because I think, when my doctor used to tell me I needed to be between 8 stone 10 and 9 stone 10, I could never ever imagine that happening. Certainly not at nearly 60. It might have been feasible when I was in my 20s, but not today. So I set my target at 10 stone 10. And the main reason for that was I wanted to be in the 10s. It felt good. It sounded good initially. It felt good when I got there. But I also wanted to be in a position whereby, allowing for the £3 over target, I would still be in the 10s. So I set my target at 10 stone 10, so I could then move between 10 stone 7 and 10 stone 13. I found it reasonably comfortable to stay more or less where I'm at. Since I got to Target in December at 10 stone 10, I had January 10 stone 8.5, I think, February 10 stone 7.5 average. March, at the beginning of March, I was 10 stone 6.5, beginning of April, 10 stone 7.5. I'm staying there or thereabouts, aren't I, without seriously starving myself, which I've done in the past, not on Slimming World, but on other programs, and without obsessing about food, which I've done in the past on other programs, and without thinking of myself as being on a diet. Dare I eat this is what I always thought diet stood for. Dare I eat this? And usually the answer was no. Today, I don't use the word diet unless it slips out of my mouth. I generally say I eat well, I eat healthily, I eat on plan. So what I think I'm bringing out of this for me is a reminder. Setting target is a vital part of this journey. Think long and hard before you do it, because Slimming World principles dictate that you can only drop your target once you've set it and achieved it by half a stone. Now, I'm not complaining about that and I'm not criticising anybody. I knew that when I set my target. Today, if I was setting target, I would have set my target at 10 stone 7. I can't change my target unless I'm prepared to drop it to 10 stone 3. That feels a bit too low because of maintaining it. I'm comfortably maintaining where I am now. I'm not so sure I could comfortably maintain being 10 stone 3, or then my range would be 10 stone to 10 stone 6. That I'd be at the top end now, wouldn't I? I'm comfortable with where I'm at today. I'm happy to pay to go to group today because I am under target. These things can be revised. I don't have to make a decision today that's set in stone. I can revise this on my journey. I know that my clothes feel better because that final bit of weight I wanted to shed, which was basically around my waist, or my non-existent waist, I'm a bit straight in those places, is now starting to feel like it's shifting a bit. Although my weight's not changing dramatically, my shape is changing. So, yeah, really I think what I'm saying from my experience, I'm not saying you have to do this, except that I would say it's wise to think seriously before you set your diet, your target, that if you do decide to change it, you would have to come down another half stone. And that's quite a big way to go. Okay. This week, I started the week with 11 syns thinking, Lord, this feels like a lot of syns. And the first couple of days I struggled to make myself eat them. And I had to bring in a thing Elaine Jones suggested this last couple of weeks in her shopping haul, called a soaring cake, a little chocolate soaring cake, which is 5 syns. Now I opened the packet and I ate one on Monday, I think it was. I haven't had one since, but it was really, I was eating it to get my syns up rather than eating it because I wanted it. I've had tuck biscuits a couple of times this week with cheese and fruit and things, which I like. I enjoy that. That's all right. That's including 5 syns in a meal. And that feels so much more comfortable than eating a soaring cake or eating a popping candy Freddo, which was pretty revolting. Hadn't realised that when I bought them, I was with a friend and she said, oh look, Freddo's £8 for £1 in Home Bargains. They were, but when I got them home, they were popping candy ones. And I can't say that's, no, I won't be eating any more of those. Anyway, what I think I'm trying to say here in a roundabout way is I am going to try to include more of my 11 syns in my meals rather than getting to the end of the day and thinking I've got to eat something to achieve the 11 syns. This here, a tub of total 2% yoghurt, is 3 syns for the whole tub. Reminds me of a tub of Vitalite margarine, I think. Joe's laughing, he doesn't know what a tub of Vitalite margarine looks like, bless him. He's had a sheltered life. It's lovely, this is lovely. Now you can get a fat-free version, which I'm assuming is free, but check that for yourselves. This one, 3 syns for the whole tub, is filling because it's got that 2% fat. And fat is what often makes things satiating. Fat in small quantities we need. I've enjoyed that. I've had a couple of those this week as a dessert. Now I'll eat the whole tub. You know, some people would choose to have a quarter of it or half of it, but I'm Miss Piggy. I eat the whole tub. Also, I found in Tesco's this week, there was, I think it was quite new, a 400-gram tub of vegetable pasta salad in a vinaigrette dressing. Now the whole tub is 2 syns and it was lovely. And we added to it some chopped gherkin, some diced beetroot and some chopped celery and some red kidney beans. You know me and my red kidney beans. And it was absolutely lovely. Oh, and I think we splashed in a bit of Worcester sauce and a wee bit of garlic. But that's normal for us. Whatever you can get Worcester sauce in works for me. And that really made a lovely meal for 2 syns, and it was a big meal. I mean, some people would have had half of it. Again, I have a big appetite. I cannot go hungry. I cannot afford to go hungry because my mind goes off into food obsessions if I'm hungry. So I can eat a whole bowl of that, and believe me, it was a big Pyrex bowl. It wasn't a pudding bowl or a soup bowl. Sorry?
Should I get the bowl?
Yeah, get the bowl, Joe. Get the bowl. It was a bowl full of loveliness, and it was very filling. And I can eat meals like that today and still lose weight at the end of the week. That amazes me. It just shows you that, hang on, here's the bowl. See, it's next to my head. It's not a little bowl, and it was full. So, yeah, there you go. It still amazes me after 10 months at Slimming World doing it properly, not all my many years of doing it half-heartedly, that I can eat the quantity of food I eat today, and even when I'm at Target, lose weight. Please, I would implore you today, wherever you are on your journey, don't treat it like a diet, because under-eating is as dangerous as overeating. Your body will go into starvation mode and start storing fat because you're not giving it enough to metabolise. I know it sounds like a nonsense, but it's the truth. So I would encourage people, Joe made me a salad a couple of days ago. I'm actually getting back into salad. Summer's coming or spring's coming. I don't think I've had a salad since maybe the beginning of September. I'm not a person for putting salad on the side. I like veg. When the weather's cooler, I'm a veg girl. When the weather improves, I can tolerate salad, but I don't like a lettuce leaf and half a tomato on the side of my meal. I like a salad. Now, Joe will make a salad in that same size bowl, literally fill that bowl with salad. And there's everything you can imagine chopped up in there and grated in there and added to it. Lauren B introduced me to a tub of beetroot salad from Tesco, which is free and delicious. I would put a whole tub of that into a huge salad with some meat if you like meat. I'm not the biggest meat eater. I like steak with salad. I'm not much of a chicken eater, but I would add a tin of red kidney beans again for the protein. I love the things. But that whole bowl, that big bowl again, full of salad and red kidney beans and the beetroot and a jacket potato if you want it, that's free. And you can eat that quantity. Don't ever be fearful and thinking I've got to have my meal on a tea plate or a saucer or something. Slimming World doesn't work like that. It's a synergy. It's the difference and the balance between free food, speed food, healthy extras, syns. You put it all together and the combination works. And I have to say, I've done it so many times over the years and failed. And this time, I've actually, for the first time in 40 years, done it, stuck to it properly, not made up my own version as I've gone along, cut corners, added things that didn't ought to be there, and it's worked. And I never dreamt I'd be in this place. I'm still overwhelmed by where I'm at today. I went shopping yesterday, bit of a one for clothes shopping, and I went into this really lovely boutique shop that I like, and she only ever has one of anything. Picked up this top, this black top that I liked. I do like black. She's trying to get me into navy, but I do like black. Picked up this black top that I liked, and I was with a friend, and my friend went, "Oh, it's small." Now they only ever have one of anything. They don't have multiple sizes. And I was about to put it back on the rail when the lady who was serving at the shop turned around and said, "But Jane, you are small." Because she's seen me go down from a size 26 when she never hardly had anything to fit me. And I said, "Okay, Lorraine, I'll try it." I went into the dressing room fully expecting, that feeling when you put it over your head and immediately it's not going to go over your shoulders and your fat arms, and it's certainly not going to come down over your chest. I put it on and it fit like a glove, and it was small. And I've never been small before. Now, I'm not saying that I could walk into any shop and buy small, because girls, how sizes vary. But that I couldn't believe, you can tell I'm pretty gobsmacked. I couldn't believe that this article of clothing I had in my hand fit me. I still can't believe the size I am. And there are people, you know, you girls watching, who will be stones lighter than me. But at 5'2" and 10 stone 6, I'm comfortable. I like it. Yeah. So, what did I bring back from group today? Wine. Not literally by the bottle. Information about wine. Slimming World is taking drinking more seriously, apparently. In the book it says a 250ml glass of wine is 8 syns. Now, there are wines and there are wines. There are weak wines and there are strong wines. And there are wines in the middle. Slimming World have been looking properly into those of us who like to imbibe a bit of wine. And I can't say I number myself a one. I do like a drink occasionally. I don't drink regularly. But I do understand alcohol because I grew up in a pub. So I've got knowledge of, you know, what I can drink and what I shouldn't drink. And I'm probably more of a gin and vodka girl than I am a wine girl. But there were a lot of surprised people in my group this morning because now, depending on the volume of the wine you're drinking, the syns change. So before, if you had a good strong glass of red wine, 250ml, it was 8 syns. Now it's 12. This is a 250ml jug against my hand, and I don't have big hands. Now that amount of red wine, the stronger volume would be 12 syns. They have, I'm assuming it's on the website, they have a scale now of the different volumes starting at about 8% and going upwards. There are 3 different levels of volumes of wine. I would just say to you, if you're going to go out for a drink tonight, check before you drink it, because it won't change what you did last week because you're obviously drinking the same volume of wine. But you might find this week, if you count the syns properly and drop some syns somewhere else, you'll have a loss next week, and maybe you didn't this week, or you'll have a bigger loss next week. Now, the thing that made me smile is lots of people drink Prosecco. It's the trendy drink, isn't it? So they're quoting, you know, Slimming World in their wisdom, and I applaud them for it. They're quoting 250ml of this wine, or this wine. So white, rosé, red. Around the 12 syns, or under, depending on the volume. Then they quote a glass of Prosecco, 5.5 syns. I just had to comment there. Prosecco comes in 125ml flutes if you drink it out, generally. So if you drink 2 of those, which is equivalent to a 250ml goblet of red wine, it's going to be 11 syns. So it's not that much better than drinking red wine, is it? Because the figures they were quoting were on half the quantity. So again, watch it. It's the quantities that make the difference. A glass of wine at 8 syns or whatever isn't just a glass of wine. Otherwise, we'd drink it by the pint, wouldn't we? Right. I did a video about 3 weeks ago, Slimming World 10 Essentials. And I really enjoyed doing it after Lauren had done hers. And I know Laurie's done one and Sam's done one. And I'm not sure, but I think Lucy might have. But they're really interesting to see what different people use on a daily basis and what different people find essential on a daily basis. I would say in a lot of ways we're all very similar because Slimming World is Slimming World is Slimming World. But one of the things I didn't include on my 10 essentials was fry light, because I struggle with fry light, funnily enough. I don't know if anybody else does. When I'm cooking, I like to cook with a hot pan. So my wok or my frying pan, I like them hot. So if I'm going to sear my meat, if I'm going to make a stir fry, I don't want it to be a stir steamed, I want it to be a stir fried. Now, Joe does a lot of our cooking, and what he does is he sprays the pan when it's cold and then heats the pan. I find, and I've tried it in different pans, that often, I don't know whether it's because I'm blind and I've got sensitive fingers, when I'm cleaning the pan afterwards, it kind of feels like it's burnt on plastic. It coats your pan, but I don't feel it feels like a very good way of coating your pan. Anyway, a friend recommended this to me. This is the Groovy Food Company's virgin coconut oil and it's organic. Now, I contacted the Groovy Food Company because I couldn't find this anywhere. And the lady there was most helpful and said, we are licensed to sell it in Tesco's. Now, I think on their website there is probably a list of the Tesco stockists. I can't find one near me. I have a Tesco in the city centre. I have a reasonably large Tesco about 5 miles away. But whether they only sell this in the really big Tesco's and whether it's available for your online shopping, I don't know. But I certainly would recommend it. It doesn't have the alcohol in that Frylight has. And I don't know, it just feels better to cook with. It does have rapeseed oil and it does have vegetable oil. 10% of it is virgin coconut. They're all organic. 10% of it is virgin coconut oil. There's no alcohol in it. Now, I can't find a price for this because, as I say, I can't find it in Tesco. I haven't done an online shop, so it may be available, as I say, on there. But on eBay, it's £6.75. Now, that seems a lot, if that is the correct price. A lovely, lovely friend bought me 2 this week on eBay. I am so blessed. But, yeah, if you give it a go, would you comment and let me know how you find it? I mean, likewise, comment if you like Frylight, because it may just be that I'm not cooking properly with it. It does say on Frylight, as it does on this, shake well before use. So I do a little dance. No, I'm being serious now. Shake well before use and cook. This doesn't say cook at a lower temperature, but Frylight says cook at a lower temperature. Now, I don't know about you, but I can't sear a steak at a low temperature, and I can't do a stir fry, a vegetable stir fry at a low temperature. So I would be interested. Anybody who has any feedback on that? How do you find Frylight? What do you use for cooking? Because it may be that you've got even better ideas, something that I'm not aware of. Thanks. Yeah, I've had some lovely feedback on my vlogs in the last few weeks. I want to say thank you to everybody who has subscribed and to those of you who've watched any of my vlogs or all of my vlogs. The feedback I'm getting is so encouraging. It keeps me going. You know, it makes it, I'm not going to change lives. The only life I can change is my life. But hey, that's one better than none, isn't it? And likewise, you know, the only person's life you can change is your own. And we'll all find our own ways of doing it. And I watched Jenny and she's going through a program of learning to love yourself. And I find that fascinating because that's something I never ever did. I didn't love myself. I didn't even like myself. But as I said at the start of this vlog, today I am comfortable in my body for the first time in my 59-year life. I'm grateful for that. I'm grateful for all of your support and encouragement. And this week, 2 A's, 2 B's, 11 syns. And I'll see you next week.
Oh, how far you've walked.
Oh, yeah. That was something this week. Up to my mileage a wee bit. Because I use a Fitbit and it measures me walking on a daily basis. When it gets to the end of the week, I top them up and I hit 54 miles this week, which is my highest mileage yet. Still nothing compared to what Joe does, but I reckon if I keep going at 54 miles a week and I keep going in the same direction, I could be a long way away very soon. Have a good week. I'll see you next week. Bye.